Welcome to Dasgeek. I have something I'm very excited to show you today. I've been beefing up my home audio system, trying to absorb all of the awesome audio files that have joined my channel and all the great suggestions and recommendations that you've given me. And while I'm a little cheap, so I don't go out and buy the really expensive audiophile stuff, I do try to find things that have great sound for a low cost. And one of the many recommendations I've received is to try out vinyl on a turntable. Now, I've tried it out in the past, but certainly the systems that I've tried turntables on have been kind of subpar, and I've really never at those times listened to music. You know what I mean, like actually listen to music, because there's a difference. When I was younger, I would listen to music all the time, but I wasn't listening to it, as in trying to hear all the different instruments, hearing the breaths of the singer as they're making them, hearing the breaths in between a saxophone player playing his instrument. All of this stuff I didn't pay attention to. Now that I've gotten older, I have some audiophiles helping me out. I'm starting to hear those things as the equipment that I'm getting improves more and more. So a different sound's going to come out of vinyl, a different sound than you're going to get out of any other medium. You may not like that sound, and that's okay. There are a lot of people arguing vinyl's better than CD and blah blah blah, and I don't know that that's true. I don't really believe that that's the case. What I do believe is that you may get a different experience with vinyl than you're going to get with the CD. You may hear that same music differently from a vinyl because of the fact that it's going to have some of that distortion and things that you're not going to get on a CD, which is very mechanically clean, if you will, sounding, versus something like this. So I have a turntable. In fact, I might be doing a video soon of taking a very antique, my wife's great-grandmother's old turntable system, and revamping the insides, because the outside looks so cool with the carpeted speakers and everything else, but redoing the inside and upgrading that turntable as well. And I also got an old turntable that I was able, if you follow me on Twitter, fix over the Memorial Day weekend, so we had some music playing on some of the new stereo equipment that we got. But this is something I wanted to get, a low-end turntable. This runs you somewhere about $100. As you can see, I got the warehouse deal, so it was only about 84 bucks, and you can't beat that. Now, this is a belt-driven system, so those are a little on the, if you're looking at some of these vinyl systems versus direct drive system, the belt-driven in some cases is not considered as good. Also, this is not a high-end system at all, but you're going to get good sound. I believe we'll get good sound out of it, good enough to really experience the vinyls, the high fidelity of your vinyl collection. So inside, you get a nice manual here, and it's going to tell you how to put everything together and how to connect to your stereo system. We've got our operation. So it talks us about the stylus guard, the stylus needle, and the fact that you've got some adapters for 45mm. If you're using those, we have start, stop, and speed options here. We have 33 and 45. Let's see, it gives you some instructions for installing a new stylus, because at times you're going to want to replace those. How to replace the belt-driven system if that goes bad. So a lot of good instructions here. You really don't see a lot of great manuals anymore with products that you buy. Audio-Technica gives a fairly robust manual there, so very nice. Not only telling you how to get started, but how to start using it. So if you can see that, it's quite a beautiful looking. I just think it's so cool looking, the design that they put on top of the turntable. So it's going to be a nice piece to have in a living room. And so here's what we have, our platter. And I wouldn't pay too much attention to this wrapping because this was a warehouse deal. So most likely somebody returned it and or the box got damaged in shipping or something along those lines. So this is a kind of a felt material. Feels like a mouse pad, honestly, just like a mouse pad. And this is metal, metallic. And you've got your rubber band system here. And the star of the show, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do this review, is nobody showed the back of this, because I really wanted to see the back of the system. And it was very difficult to find any videos that actually showed that. So I will definitely be showing you all sides of this beautiful Audio-Technica turntable. Again, there are much better turntables out there. I'm not trying to impress anybody with the amount of money that I spent here. Obviously, their turntables are probably going to the tens of thousands of dollars range, but I don't think you're really going to get that much better sound out of something like that. But you probably do get a ton more features. So here is the front of the device. Oops, sorry, hit the camera there. So here's the front of the device. You've got a start button, a stop button, looks like maybe a pause, a speed, 33 or 45. So the button's definitely very cheap. They're hollow plastic. You can hear them kind of moving around inside there. Here's a look at the insides, which I think is pretty cool. So you've got plastic gears with some metal screws and latches. Actually looks kind of similar to the antique one that I fixed the other day. When I say kind of similar, the same actuating arms, springs, were all basically looked exactly like this, although most of the gears and things inside the antique one, of course, are metallic. And you've got your lid. Looks like that just pops out. And as promised, here's the back of the system, and what we have here is a line or phono switch. So depending if which connection type you're using, you have your RCA connection option and your 3.5 millimeter like you would use for your iPod or iPhone. And underneath there is nothing to write home about there, but it looks like this is how you can get entry into the switch. It looks like that says line in and return, I'm guessing, right there. Let's take a look what we have in the bag. So we've got one connector coming out, and of course these are RCA inputs, and we have our power connection, standard power connection. Now if you recall, it came with, so we have our adapter here, 45s. We have our RCA, so you can plug these together and then plug a 3.5 millimeter coming from, say, an iPod dock or something like that into the device. We also have some other options here. You've got your 3.5 millimeter and some female RCA plugs. So a lot of adapter options for you to connect to any type of device that you want. So that's very simple. Now let's work on setting this up. So we're putting our platter carefully on the spindle here. And that's all you need to do. Okay. Make sure the belt is not twisted. It looks damn well twisted. Probably because we're dealing with the rubber band. There we go. Okay. Wonderful. Once the belt is seated in the pulley groove, carefully remove the ribbon. Place the turntable mat on top of the turntable. The turntable mat is very pretty. I love it. If desired, the hinge dust cover may be removed. Hold both sides of the dust cover and pull upward. So this is your dust cover here. To reinstall, guide it in. Setting the preamp phono line. For increased flexibility, use the turntable as an internal stereo phone pre-amplifier. Phono pre-amplifier. The preamp selector phono line switch is located on the back of the turntable. The stereo system you're using has a phono line input. Set the preamp selector switch to the phono position. If your stereo system does not have a phono input, set the preamp selector to the line position and connect the turntable output cables to the auxiliary or other high-level input on your system. Okay, so we're going to go phono here and connect it up. Alright, so we can connect to our system with the tone arm still fastened to the tone arm. Slowly turn the turntable platter clockwise 10 times to make sure the automatic mechanism is fully cycled. I think we're fully cycled. Okay. Remove the vinyl tie that holds down the tone arm. Connect the power cord. Alright, so we've got a little tie here. Keep this down during shipping. We'll remove it. And it looks like there's probably a protector on there, I'm guessing. And there's your size from 7" to 12", depending on what you're playing. And so you don't have a weighting option, it looks like here, or anything along those lines to adjust, so whatever it's set at is probably the only option you can play it at. And you can connect this device to your computer, which I really like. So if you have a man cave, a woman cave, a game room, whatever, you can hook this onto a side shelf and connect it directly into your computer so you can play vinyl music while you're gaming or doing anything else. So the start button, basically once we put a record on this, we're gonna push the start button and the tone arm automatically will move to the leading in groove. When the record has finished playing, the tone arm automatically will return to the tone arm rest and the turntable will shut off. To stop playing the record before it reaches the end, we can press the stop button. These are all located on the front here. Start, stop. So this has automatically will start playing, and we'll show that here in a second. To pause the record before it has completed playing, press the tone arm, lift a button. Okay, so this is what I thought was a pause. This is the tone arm lift button. There you go. And that will act as your pause. And then we have the 12/7. We have the speed 3345. And that's it. So that's as simple as it is. Now I'm going to go connect this up and we will watch it play. Okay, we've got it all set up. It's connected. Abbey Road Beatles. Seems like a very appropriate album to kick off the Audio Technica turntable. So let's give it a go and hit start. Notice the arm automatically goes into position. I'm only going to be able to play a couple seconds because you know how people like to flag videos. But that's it. That's our review. Audio Technica. Sounding beautiful, working great, a little cheap on the build. But what do you expect for the money? So I'm going to enjoy this. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit subscribe, thumbs up if you like the video. I will talk to you next time. Until then, fill your brains.
Don't get subscribed. Don't like the video.